crazy.
I will never forget one of the craziest rescues I probably ever had was actually down in Seaside Heights, right off the south side, right off the pier, right off the one guard shack actually. And
North End or South End?
South End.
South. So Sumner, like Hamilton.
Right in front of Spicy's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was right in front of Spicy's, and
Webster, Hamilton.
Yeah. We were actually training on the fire side, and we had a acquired structure, and we were doing some roof ventilation and stuff like that, and training for ventilation with the roofs and all that kind of stuff. So me and a couple of my buddies were on the roof, and we're in full turnout gear, full PPE, cutting in the roof and this, that, whatever, and then. I remember I heard something, this, that, and I was like, wait, the pager just go off, like this, that, whatever. And I remember hear people scream, swimmer in distress, swimmer in distress. I'm like, oh man, like I'm already gassed because I'm out, I'm out and I'm at my full turnout gear. It's October.
So you got your firefighting, you got your axe and your big hat, the boots and everything.
Full PPE, so I'm like on a roof and I'm like, swimmer in distress. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? And they're like, yeah, let's go. So I'm like, all right. So I like drop all the whatever I'm doing. And then I'm like trying to get down the ladder. I remember my glove got caught on the ladder, so I just took my gloves off and I like threw them somewhere. I lost my gloves that night. I was like, I had to get a new pair of gloves. I don't even know where they went. So I remember it was me, my dad, and like two other guys, and we hop in this the one truck that we have. It's like a Tahoe almost. It's like just for like extra stuff, or like if people come late, they could take it. So we just took that, all of our fire gear on. We took that, zipped back to the firehouse, lights and sirens, this, that, whatever. We're getting all thrown around in the back of the truck. You know what I mean? My dad's driving. And we get back to the firehouse, and I'll never forget it. It was the funniest thing. It looked like a yard sale outside the firehouse. There was like a turnout coat, pants, boots. Like we're just taking all of our stuff and just throwing it places because we're just trying to get down.
I couldn't think of that. Every time, sometimes I'll go by the fire department, I see all that shit laying on the ground. Now I know why. It's like that's why. I'm like, why these guys? What are these guys doing?
So I remember I was in like a pair of like O'Neill like cargo shorts. Yeah. So like I was in like O'Neill cargo shorts. So like so I just kept those on, and I just grabbed my vest and my helmet, and that was it. So then we hop in the in 4426 which was the pickup that we saw earlier, and we hopped down to the beach. The chief got on scene already, and I just remember hearing on the radio 4426, step it up. So that's when we know okay, listen, it's go time. Like we got people in the water, this, that, whatever. So it was reported that there was two victims, a girl and a guy, out and right in front of Spicy's, and they got sucked out. Meanwhile, it's nighttime.
So it's dark already. So yeah, what time of year? Let's set the premise here. So what time of year was it? First of all,
this was like October 2nd. So it's still nice out. It was like a nice
water's
hot,
warm.
Water's gorgeous.
And was some big surf?
Big surf. There was just a nor'easter like 3 days prior.
What, 3 to 5? What do you think? What do you think? 2 to 3 to 4?
Probably like 5 to 6 because I surfed right before the drill too.
Ouch!
So,
ouch.
I had I had surfed that day right before the drill. I went in for 2 hours. Same spot. It was the funniest thing. It was the same spot that I went to go get these two people at. Yeah. I was surfing a couple hours prior. So so it was the water was nice. It was dark as hell though. And it was and the only thing that really you could see was just the lights from the pier. You know what I mean? This, that, whatever. And all the lights from the boardwalk and this, that, whatever. So I remember getting on scene and the chief calling for a swimmer with a can. So my dad was like, all right, Nick, that's you. That's that's your specialty. Go for it. So I remember just hopping out of the truck. I just had a vest on at that point because I was just making a swim. And I remember making a swim out. And I remember it was super dark, but the water was nice. So I, just started my swim out. I started a little bit down the beach because there was a little bit of a current. So I wanted to kind of line up myself to, between, him and, just my line of path. So I remember and we have scene lights and stuff like that on our truck. So they, they lit up the whole area, this, that, whatever. So it was kind of a little bit better to see, but not the greatest.
Right. Still hard.
I remember diving under, nice 4 or 5 foot wave coming back up. Ooh. Maybe seeing the guy, maybe me screaming to him I'm coming, this, that, whatever. And he was treading water, he was all right, you know what I mean? He wasn't
panicking,
like that oh shit moment yet.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember like kind of like finally getting to him, throwing him the torp. I'm like, yo, you good? Like, are you all right? Like, how much water did you take? He's like, I don't think I took anything. Like, you know, this, that, whatever. He was like, there was a girl with me. And I'm like looking around like, dude, like, where was she? And she was like, oh, he's like, I don't know. She's like, I went under a wave. She was there. And then I went under another one. She wasn't there. So at that point, I was like, oh, man, like, you know, this, that, whatever. So I remember screaming from the beach, and I'm like 50 yards out, maybe 50 to like maybe 60 yards out. And I remember screaming to them to launch the ski because we possibly had another victim, not knowing that she actually caught a little bit of the sandbar and walked herself in. Yeah. So, and you know, because it's dark, that guy has no idea, you know, this, that, whatever. So I'm like, all right, let's just focus on you right now, this, that, whatever. So he's like, all right, yeah. So I start swimming him in. And by the time like I had gotten out there, I used the rip to my advantage to like just shoot right out there. And the rip had opened up like 3 more blocks. So it was just like a nightmare getting him in. So I was just like, damn, like we were trying everything to like, you know, get the, like I was trying everything in my power to try to get this guy in. And I didn't have fins on me. I didn't have time to grab fins or anything like that. I got a vest on.
Is that why you have the fin clip all the time now?
That's why I got the fin clip on me all the time now. Because I'm like, after that night, I was like, dude, I need a pair of fins because, you know, this, that, whatever. So we ended up actually launching the ski anyway. And, you know, my dad swam out too, secured him with me. And then we got a buddy of mine, Hunter, actually got the ski, brought it out to us. We got the guy in. And then we thankfully found out that, you know, the girl was in safe. She was in safely. But I remember the funniest thing about the whole entire thing was the guy, I remember him saying to me, like midway through the process of trying to get it, he's like, don't worry, bro. He's like, I'm a swimmer. Yeah, and I swim for high school. I'm like, dude, if you were a swimmer, man, you wouldn't be in this situation right now. Like, come on, man. This, that, whatever. So it turns out,
they never want to admit. And,
yeah.
But you make a good point here.